Hi, I'm Erin and I'm 17 years old from Austin, Texas. I love going to concerts, I love playing around with makeup, and I love doing mission work. For my senior project in my English class, I had to make a product out of something that meant something to me, and I could relate back to the curriculum. Now, one thing you won't be able to tell from these pictures is that I have juvenile idiopathic arthritis. I was diagnosed when I was 14 and have gone under multiple procedures. But one of my biggest problems with this disease is people not understanding that kids get arthritis too. So in this video, I interviewed some kids who didn't really know much about juvenile arthritis to showcase that it's not a very well-known disease.
I knew it!
And then I went on to interview some girls directly affected by the disease. So stay tuned to learn some more about juvenile arthritis.
300,000
kids in the United States have juvenile arthritis.
That's more than cerebral palsy,
Muscular dystrophy, cystic fibrosis.
Combined.
I've heard it, but I forgot what it is. It's when your joints, like in my mind, I think your joints are like stuck or they just hurt.
It's like this kind of disease, something.
It's like when your joints don't work as well and it like hurts and they're like not as good as they used to be.
I know it's a sickness, but I don't know what it like is.
It's like pain in the joints and that stuff, right?
It's whenever your joints, there's something wrong with it, and just
I think that it's maybe like a bone sickness. Maybe that like connects to joints.
I know that it's in your, is it only in your hands? That's what I feel like it's only in your hands, but I'm sure it could be in other spots, and it's harder to move and it hurts to move.
your foot. Like not being able to move your fingers and stuff.
Usually like older people, I guess.
Well, my dog has like arthritis in his like back leg, so whenever he can't get up sometimes, so he like scooches around. So whenever I hear arthritis,
Throat area. Well, it just comes up with the disease because that's all I've heard of arthritis.
Usually I think older people get it, but I know it can happen with younger people.
My arms kind of hurt. Yeah, my grandma.
I'm pretty sure my grandpa has it. And my dog.
My neighbor has arthritis.
Well, I would if I knew what it meant, but I don't think so.
Yes, my grandma has it.
At my old school, I knew someone who had one. I think who had.
I don't think so.
No.
Yes, I did know that. When my friend, I don't know if it's true, like if you snap your fingers, it's a possibility. It's like, I'm like, we're gonna get arthritis.
Yes.
I think so.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, I'm a little surprised because I never really heard of it before, but like I kind of knew about it, but you know.
Like very sad if like people could have it because like it's sick. It's a sickness, so.
And it's scary.
More common than I previously thought.
I really don't know.
I can't call opinions.
Okay.
My husband and I have a memory of Tasha, being a happy, normal, soccer-playing child.
Dude, I wasn't aware that anyone who wasn't old could get arthritis. Like, you just don't hear about it.
Well, I was coming back from a competition and my hands were like burning and like itching really bad.
I tried out for this select soccer club, and then in like August or something, like really close to school. And then like September, I just had like really weird back pain, and I think in October, I was tackled during practice and fractured my tailbone. I remember doctors were just a little confused on why I kept having this weird pain, like my hips were hurting.
So we went to a doctor, and they thought it was like chilblains.
Physical therapist at the time, Greg, he was like, I couldn't figure out why my back was hurting when I was healing, and why my hips were hurting, and then I started to die down, and I had picked up like a kind of martial art, Krav Maga, and then because I had done it for like about a month, and my hands were starting to kill me, and on top of that, I had just started working on like my base piece for art, and I just finished it, so I was like, okay, so maybe this is why my hands are hurting, but both of them were hurting, so we went to go see, I can't remember who we went to go see. We went to go see someone, and maybe like Dr. Gottschalk, and he was like, okay, so maybe it's neuropathy, I don't know, we're going to send you to my hand therapist, and so we went to see Miss Terry, I think her name is, and she was really suspicious that it was both hands that were hurting, because I'm right-handed, and so he's like, she was suspicious that it was arthritis, and so she sent me back to him. Dr. Carrasco referred me to Dr. Gottschalk referred me to Dr. Carrasco, and then Dr. Carrasco did like a bunch of labs and stuff, and then I think July 30th, he's like, you have arthritis.
We knew it wasn't that, so then we went to like Dell Children's Hospital, and then that's when I was diagnosed with arthritis.
I think for us, what's hard is that she was diagnosed at 15, as opposed to being really young. A lot of the people that we've met thus far have been diagnosed as kids.
Yeah, it was a lot of like jumping back and forth, because at the time it was only my hands, and then I think by the end of summer it started to be other things.
Well, I really didn't like understand what it meant, so I guess like I was more confused.
Well, because like my hand therapist had said you might have arthritis, and I was like, okay. Like I didn't exactly know what that like entailed. I didn't know what that meant exactly. I knew it was just a joint issue. Like, okay, so I have joint pain. Like that's great, but I didn't realize like that my fatigue was part of that. It was part of the arthritis, but yeah, it's just I just didn't really know what exactly that meant. I was like, arthritis is joints, and that was about all that I knew about it.
I mean, she wasn't in as much pain as she is now, because it really has been, it started as a fairly slow progress, and then it just kind of accelerated a lot as far as the pain and the progression of the disease. She was sleeping a lot, and you could tell as a parent that she was sleeping a lot, and there was some reason why she was sleeping, and even though it was one of those, okay, I need to push this child to get up and do stuff, you also knew that there was a reason why she wasn't doing it.
I've had some students, a lot of like students, who are like, what's wrong with you? And I go, I have arthritis. And they're like, well, that's for old people. And I was like, yeah, I wish. And I had this one girl that just she couldn't figure out why I was able to turn in assignments later without getting points off.
Her twin pretty much ignored the entire diagnosis and ignored what was going on with Tasha until probably about October, when I finally just said, Nikki, you really need to read about what arthritis is and what's going on with your sister. You're just not being empathetic or sympathetic enough. And I made her sit down and look at articles about arthritis. And I think once I made her do that, I think Nikki came to a better understanding as to Tasha's sleeping because that's part of the disease. Tasha's it takes her so long to get up in the morning because she's so stiff in the morning. And it's hard for us.
They sort of like, cause I wasn't as like freaked out about it in the beginning, so I was like, oh hey, I have this. They're like, oh my gosh, you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. And so they were like pretty like curious about it too, and like supportive. But then as I started feeling worse, I sort of like stopped like talking to people, because I just was like, I have to focus on school. I don't even have time for school, so how would I have time to like go out and meet friends? So it's been more of like I talk to people less now.
I think last year, I think they understood a little bit more, but this year I feel like it's a little bit harder. If I need more time with like a test or something, missing school, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with my mom a lot. Like, my mom takes me to these doctor's appointments, and there's a lot of them, and we're always up at Dell Children's, so that takes like 30, 45 minutes to get there.
We're all starting to adjust to it. They're not happy that we've had to cancel vacations. They're not happy that we've had to limit some of our day trips because she can't handle it. They're not happy that they have to, you know, we're in the process of moving, that they're the ones that are carrying boxes in and out of the house because she can't do that. But they're beginning to come to a better understanding as to what's going on.
I think most of them think like, whoa, like only old people get that. So like, I think they're like, wow, you have that. That's kind of weird.
I'm having my 3rd infusion of Remicade on Monday. I take methotrexate weekly, which sucks. I hate methotrexate so much. Injection, yeah. Injection on my stomach Friday night. Sometimes I take it as late as I can push it off because I don't like taking it. And then just like folic acid with the methotrexate, naltrexone, which is like, I don't remember exactly how it works, but like blocks pain receptors in your brain. So I take that, which helps.
I started on one shot, and it was methotrexate, yeah. And then we started doing Enbrel too.
I mean, it's like you don't plan for this. So like, you know, like over this like end of freshman year, I was like, okay, I got this high school stuff down, I just gotta get through high school, and I'm really looking forward to all these classes I'm gonna take, and then this is how I'm gonna go through college, and you start worrying about college as soon as you walk into high school. And so like, it's weird to suddenly have all your expectations change on you. It's like, well, I think I can do this, and I try to do something, and it's like, no, actually, I can't do this. So this whole, what I was thinking I was able to do, and what I'm now actually able to do is very different. So try to move yourself back into, it's okay if you can't do this, is really hard. And it's just emotional to know you can't go do something that you want to do. Like, I've only done one art piece this year, and I love art, and I was just like, so frustrated because it's so ridiculous that it's my own body that's preventing me from doing things.
I think really as the reality of her diagnosis has sunk in, I think my frustration level has risen. We were invited to attend CARA, which is the scientific research organization that studies rheumatological diseases, and we're given the opportunity to sit down and listen to these scientists discuss their research and what their planning. And it wasn't until that moment that I realized that pain is something that she's going to have to deal with, that the disease itself may be considered by the doctors to be controlled, but she may still have the pain because
An allegory of the cave by Plato. Prisoners are chained to the wall of the cave their entire life, facing the back wall. At the entrance of the cave is a fire, projecting light. In between the fire and the back wall is a cross bridge that people cross over daily. Their voices project across the cave and their shadows along the back wall. This is what the prisoners have come to know their entire life. This is life. One of the prisoners is released. As he spends time adjusting to the light and adjusting to the sound, he realizes that what he's come to know in the cave isn't real life. His life has changed, so he decides to go back to the cave to tell his friends about this change. But the problem is, he's just a projection of shadow and sound throughout the cave. He's not their friend, and they don't understand him. So you may be wondering, how does this relate to juvenile arthritis? Let's just say that the kids I interviewed in this video are the prisoners chained to the cave wall. And let's just say that Jordan and Natasha are the release prisoners. After spending some time adjusting to this diagnosis, almost every aspect of their life has to revolve around the fact that they have this arthritis. They can't go back because this is what they know now. They know that if you make the wrong move, you can end up back in a bad position. But when their friends ask what's going on or they want to tell their friends about it, their friends won't understand because they haven't felt this pain, nor have they seen their friends in this pain. They won't understand their limits or the emotional toll it takes on them.